We know from the 2019 elections that for the first time in South Africa's so-called democracy since 1994, more than 50% of the people eligible to vote chose not to. And a question that I have is why this is. When 70% of people voted before, on average, all the way down to less than 50%. And the mainstream media has tried to make this out to just be normal, that this happens in all other so-called democracies. And as you know, I don't believe there's any democracy anywhere in the world. And with regards to South Africa, it's very clear to see why there is no democracy. There's many reasons for this. However, if you look at Jacob Zuma's entry into the political game, once again, being the mastermind behind a new party, the MK party as it's called, which was the military wing of the African National Congress, which is basically a slap in the face of the organization. Can Jacob Zuma rally this big portion of the vote, the voters that don't want to vote, the apathy voters? They were the greatest voting bloc during the 2019 elections. And the spoiled ballot even was one of those rallying to be one of the biggest parties. And you need to think to yourself, what is happening here? Why are people spoiling the ballots? Why are they not turning up to vote? And the political system is the very simple answer. We need to change the political system in South Africa, the governance system, the electoral system. The way we elect our leaders now is just completely flawed. Our constitution is a huge problem, and I have nothing against a constitution. This is certainly a good idea, but the way ours is constituted right now is a huge problem, not only for democracy, which doesn't exist at the moment, but for freedom and for liberty. And this is important to understand. A lot of South Africans think we have a wonderful democracy, that we have a wonderful constitution. This is certainly not the case. And on this channel, I've made the case for this over a long period of time. And the COVID-19 pandemic should have sent alarm bells into your mind. If it has not, it will in future, because the very things that you love so dearly, like having a braai for instance, or whatever the case, might be taken away from you in future. You might be stuck with social credit scores and many other things. Cameras watching you all the time. All of a sudden, you might be turning into a criminal when you weren't even aware that you were doing something criminal or saying something criminal on social media. So, Jacob Zuma entering the political fray. How many of these voters that do not want to vote will he get to the polls? And this can make a huge difference in the South African political landscape. And this is besides the swing voters, the voters that will change the vote from IFP or ANC to the MK party. So don't think that this is a small thing. The elections in 2024 is about how many people, smaller parties, none of those represented in parliament, can get those people to vote for them. Because at this stage, they are the majority. The non-voters are the majority. So, can Jacob Zuma pull this off? And how many of the other smaller parties or the non-represented parties will be able to get a chunk of this vote, convince people to go back to the polls? Because swaying people is difficult in this country. People are hard set on certain things. People are extremely biased and extremely polarized. So with the ANC, the EFF and the DA being the mainstream splits in the country, with the Freedom Front Plus a close a few percentage points behind, you need to ask yourself, what is 2024 going to look like? It might be a smarty box of votes for various political entities, and this changes what our democracy or non-democracy looks like. And hopefully this will get us to a point where we can change the governance and political system in South Africa. So something to look forward to. I do believe that Jacob Zuma will absolutely support political system change. So that could help us in the future, irrespective of how you feel about the man as an individual, as a person. Don't believe everything the mainstream media has told you in the past. It is certainly an agenda to destroy this country completely. And the moment Jacob Zuma started doing things to make this country more independent and free, he was attacked, and everyone saying Zuma must fall, Zuma must fall, and I famously put out a Facebook post that was attacked vehemently at the time, saying that people will still wish for Zuma to be the president again in future. Not because I would choose him, but because he would be a better option than Cyril Ramaphosa. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe, click the bell icon to get notifications for future videos, and share this video with your friends and family.